All right, when you talk real estate, everybody wants to know what's happening with the dream homes, the high-end stuff, but also the marketplace. Joining us on the show, he's an award-winning realtor, great friend of the show, Seth O'Byrne. Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about that luxury market. It's kind of a fun topic of conversation, but it's also a very different market from what we see in just your traditional medium price real estate. What's happening up there?
Yeah, so it's been an interesting time for San Diego. I think we've seen the convergence of two things, right? So San Diego right now is an international market, and we have this new kind of excitement and energy from the international community that is pushing some of these ultra premium luxury listings out the door and getting them sold quickly in San Diego, which they'd have a harder time 10 years ago. At the same time, I do think we're seeing a little bit of a slowing of the luxury market. I don't think trade wars are helping us. Fear of interest rates does affect buyer psychology. So I think those things are interesting. But I think in general, super prime, ultra perfect luxury real estate in San Diego is selling just as quick, if not quicker, than ever.
Well, you have the median home price where we've heard the low inventory thing now for years. You put the home on the market, it's going to sell. When you get to the higher price range, you're talking smarter dollars in a different marketplace altogether. So tailoring an actual marketing plan and a strategy around it, I think, is the real key ingredient. And honestly, I've been traveling the country for the last couple of years launching the show. We handpicked the best realtors in every city. I've never met a better marketer of real estate than what this guy does. Great guy to follow on social media just because it's interesting and entertaining. But talk to me about properties and marketing them. I know you have some on the market right now. I mean, take us up the coast.
Yeah, so almost to the very end of Point Lomas Peninsula, which I think is one of the more interesting coastal land masses in San Diego. It juts right out into the ocean. On one side is the San Diego Bay overlooking Coronado downtown. On the other side is the Pacific Ocean and Sunset Cliffs, which is some of the best surfing beaches in San Diego. So you've got access to yachting, boating, downtown lifestyle, urban retreat stuff, and then you've got the ocean right there. We've got a property, 3516 Hugo, which is very cool. And this property is in Fleet Ridge 2, which means the views are fully protected, which is a big deal. And the views are as close to a postcard of San Diego as you could ever get, sub $2 million. You know, this property is super cute. It's very approachable. I think it's a very friendly beach house, but it has all the modern conveniences you would want. It's got this very nautical, cool kitchen setup, but the views are absolutely incredible. You know,
now, it's viewing towards the downtown?
Yeah, you can
just describe Point Loma in a really interesting way. You really do have on the one side of it Sunset Cliffs, Ocean Beach, beachy style. On the other side of it, you got that yacht style downtown living. Both are close. This is viewing.
You're
downtown.
probably looking at $3 or $4 billion in yachts from your kitchen.
Wow.
All of the downtown high-rises, including amazing, incredible new ones like Bosa's Pacific Gate and the park in Balboa Park, you know, shimmering windows of downtown, the Coronado, Mexico to the south, and the Coronado Islands, and you can see the largest yachts really on the American West Coast come through the main waterway. So, I mean, the view is insane.
In Point Loma, you're close to everything. So take us up the coast.
Yeah.
Right? What else you got?
So we've got a lot of great properties, but one of them that I love, which is a really cool property, I think, I believe it's the largest home on the Sea Cliff in Encinitas. It is just about 9,700 square feet, almost a 10,000 square foot, three-story house. Enormous home, very stately, but from the exterior, kind of similar to that property in Point Loma, it's got this Cape Cod vibe, so it's very approachable. So, you know, if you want 10,000 square feet and 7 bedrooms and, you know, 74 feet of ocean frontage with very nearby access to the sand, this is great. But from the outside, it's kind of a sleeper. You wouldn't know that it was so incredible. But from the Sea Cliff, every surfer in Encinitas knows this house. It's famous.
So how do you capture the story of that house, which you just described very authentically here, and how do you create that story and get it out to potential buyers? Earlier you were talking about international buyers. How do we create the story and how do we get it out?
So I think that the beach lifestyle is really romantic, right? And I think when you think beaches, you think one of two things, right? You think this kind of romantic vibe between two people who buy this little home for their life.
Definitely in Encinitas.
Definitely in Encinitas. We thought family. So we actually worked with a local talent agency and created a video where it was a daughter waking up the father in the bedroom in the morning. The sun was just coming up, and he's teaching her how to surf at the beach right in front of the house.
Wow.
And it was fun. We put a really cool filter on it. It was very emotional. It was evocative. It was a very different way of showcasing, an almost $10 million property. But we thought that the buyer of a Cape Cod property like this that has 7 bedrooms is probably a family-focused person. So we crafted the marketing around that.
I absolutely love that, man. It's just so many agents these days just create this cookie-cutter plan that their corporation told them how to do, and they're not tailoring it. I think what you called it years ago is bespoke marketing.
Yeah.
And that's years ago. You've coined this thing, and now people are trying to catch up with you as you're blazing new trails. And then you got this property that I saw on social media, which is ridiculous. It's a winery.
Manzanita Ridge Winery.
Yeah, so finish us off with that one.
Yeah, so we just priced it at $2.25 million. This property's on 9 acres.
Outrageous,
No,
right? I mean, $2.25 million.
So this, I joked when we first released the property, the wine that is produced on this vineyard, which is part of the property that's for sale, which you can keep or not keep the vineyard, but it's there.
Wow.
It produces more gold medals than Shaun White. Just think about that, right? I mean, it has so many gold medals for its primarily Zinfandels. You don't realize this, but actually Southern California produces incredible wine. Mm-hmm. Manzanita Ridge probably has the best. And we have an amazing Tuscan, very old world home for sale with fountains and secret gardens and walking trails. And you can, if you're a beekeeper, there's a place for your bees. It's on an amazing promontory in Escondido. It's every bit as luxurious as Rancho Santa Fe, but because it's where it is, in this area off a street called Lotus Pond, you can't see any neighbors. Mm-hmm. So if you want to check on your grapes naked, I've got a great house for you.
Naked grape checking.
Which is
Watch out for the bees, though.
We never put that in the MLS. but I think, yeah, look out for the bees. But I think it's amazing. It's 9 rolling hills. It's absolutely stunning. Everyone who's looked at the property is seeking, to have access to the beach in San Diego, but 25 minutes inland, you can't see a soul. So
very private.
Very private. It's a great place, I think, for a fast-paced CEO, someone who's a hardworking person who goes, you know what? By the time I get home from work, I want to turn off the world and live in my own kingdom.
Yeah.
With amazing wine as well.
Fascinating. We got to get you back on the show because I want to know who ends up buying these amazing properties.
Yeah.
Seth O'Byrne, luxury specialist, Sotheby's. Always good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
More of the American Dream coming up next. All right, welcome back to the American Dream. One of our favorite guests who truly empowers the very mindset of the American Dream. Good friend, Grant Cardone. Grant, welcome to the show.
Always good to see you, man. Dream big, baby.
Yeah, what do you think of those people who say the American Dream is dead?
Well, look, they're dead. They're dead. They quit. They lost too many times. You mounted up too many losses. I know, I've been there. I gave up on my dreams because I mounted up so many losses, and I was surrounded by so many people like me that I gave up on the dream. And a guy told me one day, he's like, look, dude, if you don't work, if you don't show up, if you don't push, the dream will not show up for you.
Yeah, so that's the truth, man. The moment we stop dreaming is the moment I think we are dead, right?
And you got to keep showing up every morning. So I know a lot of people out there just, want to look at the bathroom mirror and say they're going to be rich or they're going to be happy or they're going to be married and they're going to get the beautiful girl or the beautiful guy. But you got to show up in the right places. You got to take action and you got to be willing to give up some stuff.
When you say show up, what do you mean?
I mean, you have to leave your bedroom. You have to leave your living room. You have to leave your address. You might have to leave your city. I've had to leave beautiful San Diego. I lived there for 13 years. I had to leave there. The beauty of San Diego and the La Jolla coastline, I had to leave there to find my wife, to have my kids, to write books, to literally grow my business.
Let's talk about those books, Grant. So you got a new one, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate. This is a new book you just put out there?
Yep. Can't buy it anywhere. The only way you can get it is right here, okay? All you do is handle the shipping. Any of your audience handles the shipping. I'll handle the book. So they can go to, I think it's cardonecapital.com/book. Easy to remember. And it's about creating wealth using real estate, not all real estate, like not land, not houses, but multifamily, primarily income-producing properties.
So the American Dream is a show that's heavily predicated upon real estate. We travel the entire country, find the best realtors in now 22 cities. Let's talk about that market. So are you bullish on real estate? How do you feel about it?
Well, they say they're not producing any more of it, but when they say that, they start going vertical. So that is a production of more real estate. The real estate I like is a particular asset class, okay, called multifamily or apartments.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people love their home and they think there's money to be made in their home. But let me just suggest to you that if you can make money in a single family home, if you think that's a good investment, imagine if there were 30 homes in one address and you were paid every month as opposed to having to make a payment every month.
Yeah,
so
I think a great place to start for anybody is don't be a renter. Buying a piece of land or your home, building equity, paying down principal, getting tax advantages, raising your family, building community and memories, all that stuff. That's what a home is. When we talk about real estate, I think more on the investment side. So you think that there's good opportunities in these multi-unit properties?
We're becoming a renter nation. So I would tell people, I would just accelerate your thinking there. Don't be a renter. And I would say, no, accelerate to one more level and say, be the landlord. Be a landlord. For instance, I rent where I live, where my family lives, I rent. And I own everything that I can rent to others. So I'm trying to, the goal is to create wealth with real estate. And that means I would be paid to own it, not paid to live there.
For those who would be looking into doing this for the first time, what are the first steps you take? Because obviously when you're biting off a duplex, a fourplex, or you're talking about 20, 30, 40 units, where do you get started for someone who's new to it?
I lay it out in my book, Craig, exactly what property people should be looking for. I would warn people about the duplex and the fourplex and the eightplex. Those are the first properties that went back in 2008, 2009. There's a certain number of properties and a calculation that produce enough cash flow so that you're not the landlord prisoner. You know what I mean? Where you're taking every phone call, you're answering every toilet backup, every termite issue. That's the reason people don't do real estate, because they don't want to deal with tenants. Sure. So I've come up with a formula where you can actually create wealth, get income, pay down the debt like you talked about, and sit and wait for the appreciation that's going to come over time. San Diego, by the way, is one of the most fantastic rental markets in the country.
That was my next question. What areas do you like for these multi-units?
Anywhere where the rent delivered to the marketplace is cheaper than owning a home, and where you can offer affordable, I'm talking $1,500 to $2,300 a month rents or lower, and where you don't probably have rent control. I'd be very careful in the California market of rent control, but I would look in high barrier markets, meaning it's difficult to build there and or very expensive to build. I love Texas. I love Florida. San Diego is just a lockout market. It's rents will continue to go higher there, even though the tenants don't like that. It'll be great for landlords long term.
Well, you tried to squeeze an entire book in just a matter of a few minutes, so let's do this, Grant. Anybody who wants to get the free copy of your book, that's a really generous offer. Let's have them reach out to your website, get a free copy of the book, read about it, learn. Grant, thank you so much for coming on The American Dream and sharing some knowledge on investing in real estate. Really appreciate it.
Always good to be with you.
All right, man. That guy is living the American dream, a true success story. Awesome guy. Really, if you want to reach out, hit up his website. You get that book for free. Kind of a cool thing he just gave out there. More of the show coming up next. Well, as you know, the American Dream is a national program where we focus on business, the entrepreneurial spirit, overcoming adversity, finance, the market, all things that are relevant to empowering your American dream. But a big topic of conversation on this show is housing. So what we do is we integrate local, top-producing, award-winning realtors to cover a wide range of topics on that subject, different micro markets, different niche subject matter. Housing is such a big topic, so we're going to bring you a lot of information right now from some of the best in your market. Let's check out these interviews.
Welcome back to The American Dream. My next guest is Holly Dees. She's the broker owner of HD Realty Team, and today she's brought along a very special guest. I want to introduce James Wright. He's the owner of Cowboys and Angels Retreat. Thank you both so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So Holly, tell me a little bit about how you know James, because I love this history and I love the story behind it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I highlighted James's home on the show, and he is the General Contractor of the Year with the National Association of Remodelers. That's a mouthful. 4 years in a row, and we just had a fast friendship. I mean, we hit it off. Kelly, his wife, is amazing, and they started talking to me about this cabin getaway that they have out in the Texas Hill Country and sending me pics. And I was like, this is amazing. We have to get this on the show.
Well, I love it, James. I went on the website. It looks spectacular. And again, the name is Cowboys and Angels Retreat. So what inspired you to leave your career in Austin and go ahead and start this business?
Well, we decided to take a trip out on our honeymoon out into the hill country, and we discovered this place out in Mountain Home outside of Kerrville. And it was just a piece of God's country. It's beautiful. And we decided to look for some property and start this. So it's been really cool.
So tell me a little bit about the property. What can people expect to find when they go there?
Well, when you pull up to our red gate at the front, you punch in a code, and then you go in and you see lots of wildlife. It's a 50-acre high fence place. We have axis, black buck, whitetail. And so when you drive through, you look and you see the cabins that are stuck back in the woods. You see a pool, a pavilion, and places like that. It's just really beautiful.
And Holly, you mentioned earlier to me before we started filming that your parents actually live not too far from there and that you said it's just beautiful countryside.
They do. They live 12 miles north of Fredericksburg, which for people who don't know Texas very well, it's the Texas wine country, and there are a million places to go. And for us parents who've dropped our kids off at camp a million times in that area, it's just a mecca for camps, wineries, and Texas hill country fun.
Well, that actually brings me to my next question for you, James, is what are some of the nearby attractions when people go to stay at your place? Where can they go to for some day trips?
Well, we have wineries in Kerrville and in Ingram, and some really nice restaurants. The Guadalupe River's there. There's a lot of decks and stuff, a lot of activities in Kerrville. Of course, you can go to Fredericksburg and hit that street and hit the wineries and stuff. It's real pretty. Lots of things to do in Kerrville. I was impressed by a small town having so much to offer.
Sure. What do you hope people will remember about your property?
Well, we hope that when they get there, they come as strangers and leave as friends, and pretty much take pictures and enjoy it.
I love that, and I love that saying. Well, before I let both of you go, Holly, I want to give you an opportunity to highlight a beautiful listing. I think you're going to get many, many offers on this property. Tell me a little bit about this home.
Well, thank you so much. It just went on the market today. It's in award-winning master plan community, Steiner Ranch, where I live and love to live. It's amazing. Built in 2000. It has a garage that was custom built for a boat, so it's huge. 3-car garage, pool, cul-de-sac, green belt. 3227 is the square footage. It's a totally remodeled kitchen with quartz and KitchenAid stainless appliances. It's awesome. HVAC system replaced last year. All of the HVAC systems replaced last year, and the roof. It's super cool.
Sounds amazing, and best of luck with that. And I want to be sure to let our viewers know they can always go on your website if they're interested in that property or any others in the area, hdrealtyteam.com. And of course, James, for you, cowboysandangelsretreat.com is the website with all of the information on there for your property as well. Thank you both so much for being on The American Dream today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And for our viewers, we encourage you to join in on the conversation, follow us along on social media, or go to our website, AmericanDreamNetwork.tv, and we'll be right back with more of the show.
Introducing S1 Connect by Synergy One Lending, a company committed to making your home buying experience easy and convenient. S1 Connect is the best way to simplifying your home buying experience so that you can get your dream home faster. Whether you're a baby boomer, a millennial, or a luxury home buyer, S1 Connect offers you the opportunity to receive real-time notifications about your home loan so that you're informed every step of the way. Apply for a loan from anywhere. Compare various loan scenarios to help determine which product best fits your needs. Track your home loan progress with real-time notifications. Safely and securely upload loan documents from your mobile device. And have instant access to your loan officer and real estate agent. Basically, we're all about speed, ease, and expertise at Synergy One, so download the S1 Connect app today. To learn more about S1 Connect, visit us at s1lending.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to find out everything we have going on at Synergy One Lending.
Welcome back to The American Dream as we now focus in on your local Austin market. My next guest is no stranger to the show, Paul Reddam, a Platinum Top 50 Austin Realtor with Holmesville Real Estate. And today he's brought along a very special guest with him, Jeff Lamkin, developer of Cinnamon Shore. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the program today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Paul, I want to begin by talking to you. Last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about Austin's rising taxes and how that was really promoting some people to really reevaluate their real estate investment strategies. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on with that and how the market's looking right now.
Yes, ma'am. A lot of people are looking to rejigger, I think we said last time, their portfolios and trying to find good places to put their money. And one of the things that we did personally last year is we invested in a little area called Cinnamon Shore. We looked at a whole lot of places where we could go and enjoy and have a great time and spend time with the kids. But Cinnamon Shore really came into clear focus for its proximity to Austin and all that stuff. So we sold a couple of rent houses as part of our rejiggering. And we went down and we bought a beach house, and we couldn't be happier. The kids get to run around, and we get to have memories. While we're not there, we get to enjoy rental income, which is just it's an unusual investment. It's a wonderful thing to get to do. So we brought Jeff on so people can hear more about Cinnamon Shore from Jeff.
Jeff, please, I would love to hear about it. I know that you have built a series of luxury properties along the shore, along the Texas coast. Tell me a little bit about Cinnamon Shore.
Yeah, so Cinnamon Shore is really, it's just a simple family vacation. It's a master planned community where we've got, it appears more to an affluent group. So we've got homes ranging from about $275,000 up to about $3.5–4 million. And it's really just beautiful architecture, the latest in land planning techniques, great interior design on the Texas coast, which is dramatically underrated. I mean, it's a beautiful place. Texas just doesn't have the reputation for having a beautiful coastline historically.
Sure.
And it's so close to Austin, it makes it's like Austin's beach.
Oh, I love that. Well, and now you're developing Cinnamon Shore South. What inspired you to do that?
Well, we've sold out most of the original project. I mean, we've really had great demand, and we've been able to sell a few hundred homes already, and just people keep wanting more, and it's a pretty solid investment opportunity. We're able to deliver about 10% return on whatever amount purchase price of the home you're buying. And as the demand exceeded our supply, we bought some additional land to expand the project a little bit and bring world-class spa and some additional pools and just added retail and restaurants and just everything you need to have a full family vacation.
Where are most of your buyers coming from? You mentioned that this is a little bit of Austin's beach. Do you have people coming from out of state as well?
We have a few. I'd say it's a Texas beach primarily. Like we're probably 98% people from Texas. And probably a third of those come from Austin. So we've got some from the San Antonio, Bernie area and some Dallas and Houston as well.
And what do you think is motivating them to make these purchases? Do you think that these rising taxes have something to do with it?
A lot of people have made a lot of money in real estate, and some of the markets are getting a little bit more inflated. And so it's a place to redeploy some of the capital you might have made off your real estate that's appreciated in Austin, as an example. And we've got there's pretty limited supply of beachfront property on the Texas coast. Like 86% of it can't be developed, 7% has. And so it's going to be the place where the supply-demand curve flexes and creates just a long-term steady investment opportunity. And I think people are starting to recognize that.
Well, this question is really for both of you. What do you hope someone looking to purchase property on the Texas coast, what do you want them to know? You know,
I'd say it's a perfect place to raise a family. You know, really the thing that motivated us to do this is we want to have a place where 3 generations, where grandparents and parents and the kids can all get together and hang out in this really safe environment and just have a beautiful beach that's close enough to drive to. And the fact that it's a good monetary investment as well is a nice add-on to it, I'd say.
Sure. And Paul?
I think it's really all about location, location, location. And I think the best part of the Texas coast is clearly in Cinnamon Shore. If you'll go down there and look at all the other communities, you'll see that it's really, really idyllic. And it's luxury. And I don't think any of that's going to really go away. We go down there and we have a blast. You know, our journey was really going down there and vacationing, so we got to know the community. We got to feeling really comfortable with it. And it was just an easy decision. And I think it'll be that way for anybody that goes down there.
And a million memories to be had. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on The American Dream today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back with more of the show.
You just heard from award-winning realtors about your marketplace. It's one thing to find your dream home. It's another thing to finance it. I've traveled the country to find the best mortgage experts in every city. You're going to hear from yours in a Mortgage Minute right now. Let's check it out.
Next up, we have Brian O'Halloran, Senior Loan Officer with Synergy One Lending. Brian, welcome to the American Dream.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about interest rates and how that affects somebody based on their credit, right? So if somebody's got really good credit or maybe not so great credit, how do those interest rates really affect them?
So if you have a credit score of 620, you're going to get a higher interest rate than if you have a credit score of 740, and it can be very significant over the life of a mortgage loan. So you want to make sure that you can have the highest credit scores possible when you're going to buy a house. And the first thing you should do is make sure there's no errors on your credit report. And you can get a free copy from www.annualcreditreport.com. If there's errors on there, get them fixed. You can get your scores up so you can get a better interest rate.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for today's episode of The American Dream. Please breathe oxygen into this message and help us combat negative media. How do you do that? Visit us online, visit our website, social media. We'd love to hear from you, and thank you for sharing our content. Cheers to your American Dream, and we'll see you next week.